I was asked to do a small information video, which is probably going to turn out a little bit long, so sorry if it does. Just to address some issues with being transgender, especially in a school environment, which is a very hard thing. It's hard enough being a teenager as it is. There's a lot of peer pressure, there's a lot of stigma around teenagers. Teenagers have quite a bad reputation from the media and from just general ignorance, really. And I think when you have something underlying other things, such as being transgender, having to cope with that on top of everything else, it can be very, very hard. Not a lot of people are fully aware of some of the issues out there. I was just going to clear a few things up, and hopefully it can help some people inform other people, or help someone just to understand a little bit more about trans issues. The first thing would be the changing of a person's name. Now, even if it's not legal, respect it. How would you like it if someone came up to you every day and called you a name that isn't your name? You'd feel uncomfortable, you'd feel a little bit down about it. You want to be taken seriously as who you are, and people are just ignoring that. So, respect a person's choice, and when they change their name legally, still respect it. It's their legal name. Whatever their name was before doesn't matter, because it's not their name anymore. It's very, very rude and disrespectful to ask someone what their birth name was, whether they're transgender or otherwise. Someone changes their name, they change it for a specific reason. They might not want to disclose that information with you. Respect that. The name can bring back bad memories, it can bring back dysphoria, negativity, just feelings associated with that name that people don't want to experience again. People change their name for a reason, and they want nothing to do with the previous name, the feelings associated with it, the memories with it, or anything to do with it. So just think about it, try your hardest to call them by the name they wish to be called by. I know you might have known them for several years, you might be a family member, a relative, and it's quite hard to kick the habit, but you can do it. It may take some time. If you slip up, just apologise and move on. Don't make a big deal of it. Just say, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. Call them by their name and carry on. They'd much rather you just apologise and move on rather than make a big fuss about it. The same with pronouns. If someone asks to be called him, he, or her, she, rather than what you've been known to call them, then the same with the name. Just respect that, and try your hardest. I mean, don't do it out of spite. What are you gaining from calling someone by something they're not even called? If you go up to your friend John and call him Sam, like, what's the difference? That's not their name. You're just going to look like an idiot, and people are going to laugh at you at the end of the day, not them. Changing rooms and toilets. Now, this is quite a big issue for quite a lot of people, both the transgender youth and the people who don't agree with them using certain bathrooms, which is a bit weird in a way. You go into a toilet to pee, or whatever. You don't go in there to flash your genitals at each other. You go in, you're behind a closed door, you do your business, you go, you wash your hands, you leave. That's all you do in a public toilet. So why does it matter if someone feels more comfortable going into the toilet that they prefer to go into? At the end of the day, they're going in for the same reason as you. You're not going to really talk to them, you're not going to be involved in their lives, you're not going to be watching them. Just let them get on with it. It's as simple as that. Same with changing rooms, you go in there to change, not go up at everyone and get your stuff out. You just want to go about your daily business and get on with it. So just, make people feel comfortable. How would you like it if someone made you feel super uncomfortable and made you do things you didn't want to do? Say someone pressured you to go into the opposite sex's changing room and get changed in front of all of them. You're going to feel a bit yeah, this isn't where I belong, I shouldn't be here, I don't feel comfortable. Well, that's what it's like for trans people. No matter what's under their clothes, it's about their mentality at the end of the day. You don't have to look at them, they're not going to be looking at you. Like, make it comfortable for them, and then they're not going to bother you in any way at all. Um, for instance, when I was at school, I went to an all-girls school, and I felt extremely uncomfortable in the changing rooms. Well, I think anyone would in that situation. Um, but like, they used to make me stand in the corner, face the wall, get changed, because they thought I was a massive pervert who's going to look at them all, and I don't even know what they thought I would do. All I wanted to do was get changed into my PE kit, get out there, run around the field for a bit. You know, I didn't go in there to gawp at everyone and think, oh, look at her tits, you know. No, people do not do that. I mean, some people do, but we won't go into that. So it's a hard thing, and I can understand how you might feel uncomfortable because they're the opposite sex to you, or they're the same sex, but they're trans. You know, just respect them. It's an obvious one, really. Respect. Treat them how you'd want to be treated. It's not hard. Like, at school, teachers knew I was being bullied, but they did nothing about it. When you're quite young, like a young teenager, adults tend to avoid these sort of issues because they don't think that you're going to understand. This is why we need more education about transgender issues in school, because the majority of trans people feel like this in school, and the negativity they receive doesn't reflect well on them. Transgender is not a sexuality. It has nothing to do with orientation. Gender is a completely separate issue. It's not who you're attracted to or what makes you attracted to someone, and it's not just about wanting something different in your pants. It's a condition that you're born with. It's in the mind, but it's hard to explain to people who don't understand, because you're born with the brain of one sex and the body of another. And when these feelings conflict, it causes a lot of tension and weird feelings. And when you try to explain to someone, then they just think you're a bit weird and that you just want to have sex with people that are the same as you or different as you or whatever. And then rumours get spread around, and that's how bullying starts. And when teachers ignore that, it becomes a very, very serious issue. So teachers need to pay attention to this as well as other students. Although acceptance for transgender people is gradually increasing, 49% of transgender youth attempt suicide. That's nearly half of the people who are out or not out as transgender. That's a lot of people. Fair enough, it's only about fewer than 1 in 1,000 people, but that's still a lot of people. Parents can abandon youth with gender identity issues, and I think the child needs their parents more than anything at that stage. They need advice, they need comfort and support, and for that not to be there can also reflect badly in other ways, such as at school with their peers, teachers, etc. 1 in 12 transgender people in America are murdered each year. Why? Why are people killing people because of their gender? You wouldn't go up to anyone in the street and just stab them or whatever because they're male or female. So why do it to transgender people? Transgender people are no different from anyone else. They just have to go for a bit more in life to get to the stage of comfort that other people are. Less than 1 to 1.5% of individuals experience persistent regret after sex reassignment surgery. Now, I think this is a very important thing. A lot of adults will say, oh, it's just a phase, or you can't do this until so and so because you might regret it. these feelings are not feelings that just come and go. They're with you for a long time, and when it gets to the point where you feel comfortable enough to come out and let people know, I think that's the point of no return. You can't suddenly think, oh, today I'm going to be a boy, today I'm going to be a girl, you know. It's not something that happens overnight, it's not something that's going to go away, and that's a very, very small percentage of people to regret it. So if someone comes to you, like confidentially or whatever, and says, look, I think I'm transgender, I need help, or I'm being bullied, please take them seriously. Give them advice, let them know that there's help available to them, or just be there, be someone that they can come and talk to. And if you notice anyone being bullied, or anyone you suspect is being bullied, then please help them. Because at the end of the day, their lives are at risk, and that's not a good thing. The most important thing is just to respect people. Even if you don't agree with it, respect it. There's a lot of religious views about transgender people, gay people, all different things. You might not personally agree with it, but if it's not really personally affecting you and your life, then why should you hate on those people and bully them to the point that they don't want to be here? It's a no-brainer. Just treat people how you want to be treated, even if you don't agree with it. And please respect the name issue, because it means a lot to people just to be taken seriously, and it can help so much in their confidence, even though you might not think it's the right thing for them, or you think they're too young, or whatever. They're not. Young people need more awareness of this because it affects young people, and it's a huge struggle. So I really hope that you can take into consideration some of the things I've said, and please help people and educate people. Whether you're old, young, you're at school, you're a parent, you're a student, just take it into consideration. Thanks.